What role does the college play in this?
To be precise, nothing. If you want to crack a job, you have to just do competitive coding and learn
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today, we are talking with Devansh Gupta. He is an SWE at Microsoft, and we'll be discussing about competitive coding. So, without any further ado, let's call him on stage and start today's session. Devansh, can you please turn on your camera and join us on the stage?
Hey, hi Trian. Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. So I just don't want to,
Yeah.
waste time in introducing and everything. So that it would be best if you could introduce yourselves and tell people
So,
about yourself.
okay. So from my side, just like I have completed my BTech degree this year itself from IIT ISM Dhanbad, and my stream was electronics and instrumentation. So yeah, I am also an electronics guy. So
Okay.
once you just so we'll go further in details what happens next. So yeah, this much I think is enough for now. So electronics or any other branch, people don't just think that you can't do anything if you are not from CSU.
Okay, I take my words back. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's start with the session today. So first of all, again, with your college and everything. So the first question that comes is like, how has your journey been from joining your college till the end year and then finally landing up at Microsoft?
So if I start from my first year of college, so in my college there was something like in first year you may try different various things so that you can identify in which field you are interested. So I for college you are getting 4 years at minimum for BTech. In first year I spent time on like studying various fields, machine learning, SWE, and exploring different things, right? And in second year I fully devoted my time to this machine learning, as I told yesterday about this too. Yeah, so what I can say about that machine learning, and after that the journey began with this competitive coding and is SWE, software development, and then I end up with this job. This is in the small I can
Like
explain this
in the
much.
briefest way possible. So basically,
Yeah,
like you started off with machine learning. You were into machine learning as you were
yeah,
discussing
right.
earlier. So
Yeah.
based on machine learning and all, then why the switch came into competitive coding and towards SWE?
Yeah, for that, I can answer that question very well, actually. So what happens in second year, you will, I find the diversity like machine learning, there were very much students interested in machine learning. So I opted that, and I was interested in it very well along the journey. But what happened in third year when the companies came to the college, there was very much, there was actually only two companies that provided data scientist job, and every other company was SWE for the SWE or SDE post, software development post. So what happened that from on campus I didn't get any job, and on off campus I got job in data scientist with a company, but they didn't provide me work from home. So my internship was cancelled in between actually.
Okay,
So
okay. Due to the
yeah,
lockdown and everything that
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So they here the switch came that I then I came to know that for data scientists you need to complete many degrees. You just require higher study, not only BTech.
Hmm.
But if you want to crack a job, you have to just do competitive coding and learn software development, any software development tool. Either it is mobile app development or web app development, or what you are teaching, that is progressive web apps actually. Yeah. So anything, because once you enter the industry, they will teach you everything that they require you to do. So that's not an issue. You just need to show them that you are capable of doing things.
Okay, so like talking about competitive coding in general. So how was your path basically from, like, you told that you had a whole career switch towards the end of
In
second
my
year and
second day, yeah, right.
second year. Okay,
Start
so
of
like
third year, yeah.
towards
So
the starting you're
basically,
exploring, and then the whole second year went on towards machine learning, but then the
yeah,
realization hit that okay, this needs more work into it, and then the shift came
yeah,
into the SWE region. preparing
Yeah.
for the companies and the placements.
Yeah.
So one question that we get a lot is, what role does the college play in this?
To be precise, nothing.
Okay, so like college doesn't matter, so everyone can rejoice
Nothing.
on this fact that college doesn't matter. It's not like if you are at some like first year college. I just hate that tier thing, but again, people say that tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 college, so it doesn't
No,
matter that
that
whatever college you are in, it basically depends on the skills.
Exactly. Like this year, if I can, approximately 1,000 students joined Microsoft as a FT. So from tier 1 college, there may be 200 students. And
Okay.
from tier 2 college, there may be 200 students. But other 300, 600 students are from tier 3 college. So for me and for anyone, they just don't need to lose hope. They just need to do the necessary things like competitive coding, web development, and they just need to prove their potential. And trust me, if you once preparing for this competitive coding and you crack their exam and you are in the interview, then your branch or college doesn't matter. The one thing is matter, that is how much do you know and how much you are capable of showing them that you can solve that problem.
Okay. So basically it's more of towards like the problem solving skills that everyone talks about in competitive coding, that how well can you solve a problem. So talking about the same thing, like what path did you take for competitive coding? Like you started off in third year, right? So that means those who are here wondering like what will happen, and those are in third year and all, you still have got time for that. But anyways, like what path did you take? What language did you choose, and what was your mindset behind it, and any insights about other things in this?
So as you know that I was much into machine learning, so I started comping with Python, but then I switched to C++. I don't know why, because all of my friends were doing comping C++ in college.
Okay.
So I also opted C++. But this actually what happened when internship, I didn't got an on-campus internship. I just started doing the compy. So it was my 5th semester actually.
Okay.
So in the 5th semester, I started with HackerRank. That is the simplest way to get into competitive coding actually, according to me. HackerRank. I started with HackerRank, and once I get comfortable with it, I started with Codeforces, LeetCode, and CodeChef. Then I continued with LeetCode and CodeChef. Codeforces. The major reason is that Codeforces, if you solve questions on Codeforces, you will develop your technical skills of understanding the problem, like different problems, understanding the approach, not only the problem. On Codeforces, the things matter is what is your approach toward the problem. And from LeetCode, you will come to know about the standard questions that companies are asking you. So I think these two, if your major focus is on SWE, so for competitive, these two, only working on these two platforms, you can develop your skills good enough that you can crack your exam and get into an interview.
Okay.
Any company,
so basically it all ends up being like you have to somehow get into that interview, like what you're focusing on. Like you have to clear that first coding round, and then the main thing is interview. Even if that coding round wasn't that great for you, that interview basically decides your thing. So that means not just coding, but also maybe soft skills, like how you communicate with the other person in an interview. That also matters, right? Like interview prep.
Definitely. So for compy, let me tell you, if there are 200 students giving competitive coding paper, out of them 100 will do well. Actually, if you are able to solve whole paper, then 100 are also able to solve whole paper. Timings matter, but when you reach interview, actually, what happened in India now, people majorly focus on web development, app development. They focus on SWE roles, but they did not think about one thing, that how will they reach there, that they can showcase. Like in every industry, it is a gateway. You think it as a gateway, that you need to pass that competitive coding gateway to showcase your skill for software development. And when you pass that gateway, that doesn't matter in your interview actually. That is
so
just
basically like competitive coding becomes JEE for a company.
You can say that in a way, but what happens now, competitive coding provide you a skill problem, how to approach the problem and
हाँ.
how to tackle that. So that will help you in interview in every
Okay.
possible way.
Okay,
That will
okay.
help you, because what happens when you reach an interview, they will provide you a software development problem, and they ask you to tackle it with the binary search or any other thing, directly or indirectly.
Okay.
So indirectly or indirectly, you need to apply that competitive coding approach.
Okay.
And you,
So,
yes,
like for the placement thing, it's very important that you focus on both DSA. Like, does the language matter, or like any language will work?
no, any language will work.
Any language will work. It's
Yes,
just the
any
problem,
language.
like the approach that a person takes to solve that problem. That is the main thing that matters at that time. Okay. So
Yeah.
basically, like this is a question that almost everyone has asked on our Insta story. So we put out an Insta story today in the morning while promoting the event for this evening. So a lot of people ask the same thing again and again, over and over again. So for everyone, the language does not matter. It's not like if you're doing with Java, so you'll get more preference, or if you're doing with Python, then you won't get the preference. The language does not matter. And that's true in many cases, like you might have heard about from other people as well out there who post on LinkedIn or whatever it is, that language generally doesn't matter. And overall, like how was your experience with the coding questions in Microsoft interview and basically the interview round?
Microsoft interview round. Sorry, love, what is the
Like
difference?
I'm asking about like how was your experience with Microsoft's whole process, like from the coding round to the interview round, and how was it basically?
Like for coding round, I can say that lead code definitely helped me. The questions were generalized from lead code.
Okay.
Not generalized. If you are able to solve lead code medium and hard level question, you will tackle that problem easily. Coding
Okay.
round. Yeah. For this will work for Amazon as well as Microsoft and many other companies. For if you are approaching for Google, you should focus on code forces skill,
Okay.
because
Okay.
they majorly match problem and everything. Yeah. Okay. So coding round, it will it will be easy. You will like it will be easy, I guess, for coding round if you are
Okay.
solving lead code and code forces.
So
But
like
in
basically that is the pretty
Yeah.
easy part. If you focus
not
on
pretty easy
DSA.
part. From for me, like from my college, there were 200 students.
Okay.
That for like applied 400 or 300 students, there is a CV shortlisting program actually.
Okay.
CV shortlisting round. That is also important round. They sort you basically on your CV. So
Okay.
it is very important factor that how you showcase your skills and everything. Like
Okay.
tiniest details matter. What is your code chef rating? How much question did you solve on lead code, as well as what is your rating in lead code? If you are
Okay.
able to mention these things in your CV, you these things matter actually. And even
Okay.
I came to know one thing. Microsoft this year came to IIT Roorkee, and in their form they were asking what is your code forces rating. This was
Okay.
an official question from Microsoft this year, and people got rejected not having code forces account,
Okay.
because they
Okay.
were not having rating.
हाँ.
How much I came to know, matlab, this much only I came to know about this year. So you can see now, competitive coding matters much actually. It will give you problem tackling skill actually. How you
So
and
like
it will help you to
basically
build an
if we
approach.
like acha, what would be the like if we had to talk about like the minimum duration, like there are a lot of people who might be in fourth year right now, or maybe
Yeah.
at the end of their third year, or during their third year, whatever that is. So what's the minimum duration that you think that and one needs
For
to provide to
minimum,
this?
for minimum duration, I can answer that if you are familiar with competitive coding, if you have done previously, you will need around 3 to 4 months at top.
Okay.
Yeah, at
Okay.
top you will need around 3 to 4 months, and you can keep this approach. You need to solve 10 questions daily.
10
Only
questions daily. Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you solve it on your own, or you see that you see the solution and implement it without seeing the solution again.
Okay. Okay. So
You just
basically
need to
either
learn.
solve
Yeah,
or watch and learn. Both of the things
watch
will
and
work.
learn. Yeah, 10 questions daily. If you keep this approach, 4 months is enough. And I
Okay.
for my college, my senior suggested this approach, and I followed for myself.
Okay. So that means if someone is in first year right now, so they have a lot of time, and even if they do like 2 questions per day, that's also more than enough for them. who are just starting out with the
That is-
basics?
Yeah, for the basics, for them that is enough. They should focus on, actually they have enough time. They should focus on web development, app development that
Okay.
impact their career, because competitive coding will impact it. But
It's just a gateway, like you said.
yeah, it is a gateway. It will help you build an approach, but that approach you will need afterwards when you learn these things actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That just
actually
changes
these-
everything. It's like for
Yeah.
second year, explore other things, skill yourselves up, and then get into this competitive coding and prepare for your interviews and placements.
No, you should start competitive coding by second year itself.
Okay, second year
in
itself.
Third year, because third year
Internships are
companies
there.
are
Yeah.
visiting your campus actually. So by second year mid, I think 3 semesters are enough
Okay.
to identify and explore. And
Okay.
1 semester and a summer vacation you can spend on your developing your competitive coding.
Yeah.
And other than SWE.
Other than that, just focus on these platforms. You said Codeforces, LeetCode, and CodeChef. So that HackerRank is basically for beginners to start it off, and then
Yeah,
continuation you
entry
can
level.
do with LeetCode and everything. Okay,
Yeah, for
okay.
entry level you can start with HackerRank. Actually, it is very good platform for entry level.
Okay, so for beginners,
Yeah.
basically HackerRank is the best one, and after that, if they want to upgrade themselves from that platform, then there's Codeforces, CodeChef, and LeetCode.
Yeah.
And LeetCode, as you said, so everyone, LeetCode is basically like a library of really, really good and generalized questions, all easy, medium, and hard, properly listed so you can understand everything. And then Codeforces is more into like problem-solving skills and maths, right?
Sorry?
Like Codeforces is
Yeah,
more into
yeah,
the
yeah.
mathematics side and the
Mathematics
problem-solving
side
side.
and problem solving side. Like you will, in every question, with every question you will learn a new approach.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens that they just change the language and questions are same, but you implement 2 different approach for them as well. So you will come to know that there are different approaches, and it will help you a lot. In future, when you just crack a job like with Microsoft, what they want that your code is like minimized and compact. For that you need an very simplified approach, and you will have this approach like if there are 15 lakh students for engineering, out of them 5 lakhs will know how to develop a website, how to develop app, how to develop a mobile app and every other thing. But how many of them know how to make that minimized and in a compact way?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here competitive coding skills come into the play.
Yeah, like
They help
utilizing
you
the
develop.
best data type,
Yeah.
utilizing the best approach.
Yeah.
How can you minimize the loops and everything? All of that stuff
Yes.
that comes in. Basically,
There-
refactoring everything, compressing, and then deploying it to the
Yes.
public.
Like why major companies are interested in binary search. Like for my Microsoft, what happened in my coding round, there was no binary search question, but there
Okay.
were 2 interview rounds, and in both interview round there were two questions each, and one question in both interview round were from binary search. And the reason
Okay.
is that for what happened now, the question you are able to solve with binary search, you can solve it in a complex way. But if you know binary search, you will try to tackle it with binary search actually. So they just need to see that you are able to solving it in a minimized and compact way, or you are like hard way. You are giving them a hard way. So
Okay.
and in interview, one thing more important for interview, like interviewer will give you a hint. You
Okay.
just not get underappreciated that they give me hint. They will not. Now I'm definitely getting rejected. This
Okay.
is not the case. They are giving you hints so that you can. They want to see that if, like, for my work, I am getting a blocker right now. I will ask to my manager. He will give me some pointers. So I just need to grab that pointer and try to figure out how my blocker is being solved. So the interviewer wants to see that if they provide you a hint, are you able to catch that hint and get the right direction or not?
Okay.
So it is a very good thing that you always keep problem solving approach, not disappointment.
So
like
basically,
major-
interviewers will give you some kind of hint. Like they
always.
want people in their organization who are able to who are malleable, kind of like, adaptable.
Yes.
With even if they're not able to do
Exactly.
something, if we give them something, a little bit of hint and all, so they are able
Yes.
to put that approach to use and solve the problem. The main thing
Yes.
is solve the problem and the approach that you take.
Yes, majorly
Okay.
these two things only matter. That how are you able to solve the problem or not if they provide you help as well. Because
Okay.
this is the major factor now. Because on you reach any level in the company, you will always need help from your supervisor or senior. If you are a manager, you will need help from your senior manager to understand a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they want to know that are you able to grasp things or not. Like malleable, you just said that.
Yeah.
That is a right kind of, yeah.
So basically, they want people who can understand easily. It's not like they don't want people where they have to spend more and more time in teaching. Otherwise, they'll just be like, okay, these are the resources. This is the thing that you need to do. And these are some pointers. Look into it. And if you're able to do that, then you're the perfect candidate for them.
For many companies, they provide trainings actually, but
Okay.
there are only 20-30% companies that provide trainings. But for startups, like right now, many students are more into getting a job in a startup. So for a startup and for major companies like Microsoft, Google, they will not provide you training. They will essential training. Once you join, they will give you some resources to get your essential training.
Yeah, essentials done.
Weeks. Yeah, essentials done, and then they will just involve you in a project, and they will say that we will.
It's like
help
learning
you.
on the job.
Yeah, learning with the job. Yes, we will help you in a way in your path, but you need to do this on your own.
So basically, those who are keen to crack that placement criteria, for them, competitive coding is really, really important, because that is, as you said, is the gateway towards reaching their goal, joining any company that they want to, and also it will help them out later as well in the problem solving area.
Of course, like if you can develop a very beautiful website and everything, like a very lightweight platform, but how will you showcase if you can't reach to the manager or the hiring team? To whom you will showcase? On LinkedIn you will showcase, maybe some startups are interested, but for big tech you need to crack that gateway and reach to the hiring
like
team.
It basically matters more for those who are looking for placement in job sector, and for startups it's kind of a total different era. Plus like what I've seen in this like right now, what I'm seeing is there is a little bit of change towards this. Like a lot of companies are now they are, if they're hiring in web developer role or app developer role, they are now not conducting a coding round for DSA. So this change is also slowly and steadily happening, but it's only in startups. Like it's not in big companies. So if someone is aiming the big companies, if you want to reach there, then coding is really important, competitive coding.
What happens if you are running a startup? You will really need a person that know his work actually. That he know how to develop a website. Although he may not know how to make a lightweight platform, but he really knows his work. For startup, these are the people they are looking for.
Okay, so basically they need the MVPs.
Yeah, in a way. But for big tech, what happens? They need to deploy any app on enterprise level. So they need compact as well as minimized approach. So therefore, these
plus there are a hell lot of checkpoints to clear in a big tech company before a deployment happens.
Yes. So therefore, what you have said right now is the change with the startup and big tech.
Yeah, startups. There is a competitive shift, but again, overall for big tech companies, if someone is aiming for that here in our audience as well, so that means this is an indication for you basically to whatever year you may be from, because it just requires like 3 to 4 months of hustle, and then after that you will be ready for it. But again, you'll have to be consistent, as Revansh said right now. Consistency is the key for everything basically. If you're consistent, then you'll be able to get it. And apart from all of this, like, so all about competitive coding and anything, do you have any advice in particular for the students who are in their first, second, third years or something from your side?
Like for the students who are in first year, advice from me is that they should focus on exploring rather than on one thing. Like they should really do one course from each from machine learning, from web development, from app development, and try to figure out 3 semesters are enough to figure out what they are interested in.
Okay.
These are not only the fields, there are many other fields. For mechanical, some students think that for mechanical there is no job. Yeah, very less job. But this is not the case. There are very less good students for mechanical. Jaguar also has from every like off campus from every college, and from on campus from my college they came actually. So I know that for mechanical there are also jobs. So you should explore every possible field that you may be interested in, that you think you are interested in,
Okay.
not only CSC field. For first year, you choose and if your main focus is that college have a stable job. If are hello,
I guess there's some internet issue.
yeah,
One second.
yeah, from my side, I guess there is just yeah.
Yeah,
Now
now it's okay.
my visible, yeah. So for if anybody is aiming to have a stable job by the final year of their college, so my suggestion for them is that by the end of your third semester, you should choose a stream and start working for it. And it is not
Okay.
that like for myself, I chose machine learning, but then I chose to change it. So you should choose wisely that these transition don't happen. But it is
Okay.
not the case that you can't be successful or you can't end up with a good job if you do the transition. I did the transition. I ended up with Microsoft. You just need to do extra work. Like like I said that I like if you do not do this transition in second year itself, you will start competitive coding 2 or 3 portion daily, and you will get time for for learning development itself. For my case, I started from third year. So what was the downside for me? I just need extra time to do the development to learn the development skills as
Yeah.
well as competitive coding, right? So this can be done, but it will need extra effort. So best possible way is start by you decide a stream by the end of your third semester. For fourth semester you start competitive coding as well as working on that development or any other skill you are learning. Yeah,
Okay. So, like, to sum up everything, there was some internet issues in between as well. So,
yeah,
first year students and everyone in general, like, basically explore in the early years of your college. First
always.
year is very easy for college students and everything. There's not much going on there, so you don't need actually a lot of time towards the college. So
Yeah,
explore as much as you can. And as Devan said, that towards the end of the third semester, you should know in your mind, like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is the exact field that I want to go into, and then basically start preparing for your competitive coding, basically that coding ground that you want to clear, that gateway that you want to pass. So that you should do. And again, the platforms and everything that we talked about, LeetCode is important, Codeforce is important, and even HackerRank for beginners is the best one. So you can try that out as well. Here at Doko Nation also. So for those of you who will watch this video on YouTube later, and for those of you who are here right now live with us, so we also have something called as Fang Club. Right now it's known as Fang. It's just a word play. It's like fan club and all. It's a competitive coding club. So what we do is this is the same thing that we do here. We provide that kind of motivation and consistency to everyone. So we have drafted out roadmaps, we have drafted out resources, and we have various questions and coding problems and all for everyone. So if anyone is interested in that, the selection criteria, there is no selection criteria for any clubs. Okay, so we have multiple clubs in the community right now. Bughouse, Fang. Bughouse is basically development club, and all, like, there are many clubs. So I would suggest you guys to take a look at it on our website. There you will find all of them, and even in the communities. Okay, and there's a video that's going on YouTube by tonight, I guess, or maybe tomorrow, that explains everything about the clubs. There is no selection criteria, but there is a criteria, that is membership criteria. So it's free for all, but you will not be able to stay in the club if you don't work. That means if you're not coding daily, if you're not showing results, if you're not serious about it, then you will be removed from the club. Because this, we want it to be premium for the serious students who actually want to make a difference and actually want to achieve their goals. So we want to keep that premiumness of these clubs. So no selection criteria, you can join as a noob and then come out as a pro. So these are also some things that even we as a community are doing for everyone. So I hope that it is going to help all the students that are here. And I will leave the link to Devansh's LinkedIn account in the chat box, so that if you want to connect with him and gain some insights, you can. And other than that, how's life at Microsoft, Devansh?
Initially it is I can sum up as little hectic because we need to learn new skills, but yeah, in the end everything is very smooth actually.
Okay.
Very smooth. From onboarding, they will help you in everything in every possible way. They will manager will connect to you, and every week they will connect you with one-on-one meetings. So if you are facing any problem, you can share there, and everything is very good actually with
And
Microsoft.
like, how is the remote experience, and are you kind of missing the actual in-office experience right now?
Yeah, yes, actually, if you are in with the in-office experience, the one thing which comes in handy that you are around everyone and you can ask your doubts and clear your doubts quickly. Like here, you need to figure out to whom you should text, or because you don't know
Plus, the
initially, you don't
timing
know
issues also
anyone.
is always there.
Yeah, always, always. No, with
Yeah.
Microsoft, the timing issue is not there.
Okay.
We just need that work is done. Like I can just log out at 7 or at 6. It doesn't matter. It is
Okay.
very flexible hours. If I want to work at night, I will work at night, and I just need to complete my work before tomorrow. Yeah. So that is, yeah. Here for with work from home, this is the benefit I'm getting with Microsoft right now.
Okay.
That work hours are flexible for me. Yeah.
That's great. Some people are asking the link for the club, so I've put the link in the chat box. Okay, so you can go to that link and discover the clubs. Okay, so now the whole session and everything is done. So what we'll do is we'll be opening the floors to questions. So if any one of you from the audience wants to ask any question to Devansh about competitive coding or anything in general, you can. I actually have a few questions, so let me put it up to you. So Mohit is asking like, how were your academics and how much did those matter? You are from electronics. Did the vast syllabus bother you?
For academics, I can say that Microsoft actually have the cutoff at 8 GPA. Till
Okay.
last year, they were having 8 GPA cutoff. This year, I came to know that they are lowering the bar to 7.5. So I
Okay.
think academics matter. Academics always matter because it is also a gateway, because like they want to know that how you are managing everything. Like
Management
there are
is
many good
matters. Yeah.
coders. Yeah, because there are very good coders, those who are below 7, those who are having a GPA below 7, but their coding skills are through top. So academics matter, and yes, electronics course did bothered me, but yeah, you just need to find out one good student and try to
Okay.
convince him to help you during exam. Like if a good student or your friend who is studying electronics very well, if he teaches you before exam, one day before exam, you
Ah,
can just pass
that's
the
like
exam and you can score.
every single
Yeah,
engineering college story that bhai ek raat pehle padha de and then we
yeah,
are done with it. So
yeah.
yeah,
You
but
can score. GPA
CGPA
matters.
it's wrong in a way, but again that's their way of filtering students because there are a lot of engineers. You might know, like there are just a lot of engineers every day that India is producing every single year. So that's the reason that they have that CGPA criteria. But yeah, that's kind of a way to understand that how are you managing your time, your syllabus and everything, whether you are able to handle that pressure or not. It's not like you got pressurized by college and studies and everything, so you just left it and you're like ki nahi ho raha. So that's basically you are neglecting your studies and everything. So that's something that maybe the companies don't want because they want people who are good under pressure. So yep, for that matter you need to have at least 7.5, right? 7.5 and
Yeah,
above is okay.
7.5 is okay. If you are having above 8, then everything is fine. No
Everything is
company will
fine.
reject you ever. And
Also I have
above
seen this
7.5,
thing that if you what happens is that people start enjoying college really early on. Okay, so this is a tip from my side because again I am currently in my third year, and what I figured out is that I did pretty well. I actually studied for the first year, not second year, first year of my college, and my CGPA just was above 9.5. And that actually helped me because afterwards I did not study that much in the college. I just did averagely, so that averaged it out over the years. So I was exploring every other field right now, web development, AR, VR, blockchain, everything. I'm exploring it and everything I'm working in it somewhere, but that actually helped me. So along with the enjoyment in the first 2 years of college, if you focus on it, because that's pretty easy to gain marks in the first 2 years. After that it gets tricky, right? Like third, fourth year, it's a little bit difficult to gain marks.
Because many students opt not studying their course and study CSE or any other department course.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
this is
also
the
a
case.
case. Correct.
Yeah, therefore, so first year you can score very good just by
Yeah.
studying 1 week before exam. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have
exactly.
to
1 week.
just
That's what
study
I
one
did.
week before exam, because from second or third year you will start studying one day
Yeah,
before exam. That is the tendency with every engineering college student.
exactly.
So yeah,
Okay, so we have one more question, which is how much do the projects matter? Like projects on what topics weigh your CV, or how do they value every project?
look, in interview, what happened with me? I can share you my personal experience in
Okay.
interview. What happened? They did not ask me what was uh, on which platform I did coded that website, or I did develop my website or app, or what I was using for machine learning, everything else. They just need to know that uh, if I'm able, if I like in India, what happened? Na, there are many students those who copy their seniors project in their CV. So
Yeah, I've
they
seen
will
that.
really yeah. So they will really try to understand that if you have written your project in your CV, so you should learn each and everything, smallest detail about that project. If you can showcase to them, that is a very good. So project matters actually. Project matters in your CV. Project on what topics? Wait, your CV or how the? Okay, so project on what topics? So it doesn't matter what is your topic, because when I applied for that SWE role, I had one project with app development and one project in web development and 3 projects in machine learning and deep learning actually. So they did not
Okay.
ask me questions from machine learning, deep learning. They just were interested in web development. And what happened? I just make a personal website for myself, and I hosted it on GitHub, right? So
Yeah.
so that I can showcase them that if
So
you
that
are
you
able
have
to
posted
understand,
in
so
your
that I can
projects and everything, like a
yeah
portfolio for
yeah
yourself.
my portfolio. I just created it and I hosted it on GitHub,
GitHub.
and I provided the link in my CV. So that was very helpful, because in my interview, the interviewer was seeing that portfolio and was going through the source code, and he was asking why I use this, why I use that. Actually, this happened with me in interview. So yes, if you are providing any link, you should know each and everything about that project. And project matters, but not that much. You just the project you write, you must know everything about it. This matters.
So basically, like the as we talked about it, that explore. So while exploring, make projects. That's the best way.
Yes,
You'll get
always.
projects in the first year itself. Like right now, if you guys know or not, if you guys are part of community or not, so I'll just drop the link for that as well. So we have a community on Discord. So if you don't know about it, you can join it on Discord. So again, in our one of the clubs, that is development club, right now we are doing 7 days of CSS development kind of challenge. So whoever is just a beginner in web development right now, they can take up that challenge, and every single day they have some new challenge that is given to them, and they have to basically complete it and also post it publicly. So that is these are the things, these are the measures that we are taking in our clubs to basically get you to do the work, because building in public is very very difficult, and it actually keeps you on your toes at every time, because now people are looking at you. You posted 1 day of CSS, so if you miss tomorrow, that has an accountability on you. So building in public is something that we are following everywhere. So do check that out as well, and also make more projects. Everyone, not if not with us, you have a lot of library on YouTube. Even we are creating a lot of videos for the projects and everything in web dev, app dev, and every single field we'll be doing that. So basically do projects. Don't just sit over a theoretical topic for a long time. Make more projects and then list them properly. And what Devansh did, make a portfolio website. A lot of people delay in that, I don't know why, but makes a portfolio, proper portfolio, where you have all the projects listed along with some details. Also, like
And
blogging, try blogging as well for your projects. That also helps.
and
Anyone else,
for
if you have any more questions? Yeah, sorry.
yeah, one more thing I want to tell them, that you can host your portfolio with GitHub without paying any amount.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
provide, yeah, because GitHub provide a function that if your website is not a reactive one, you can host them with GitHub. So I think this is for student community only, but I don't know about this. But you are all from student itself, so
Yeah.
I think you should check out. You should make a portfolio if you are doing web development. you should make a portfolio for yourself and host it on GitHub and provide that link on in your CV.
We actually will be making one in Bughouse. Bughouse is a development club. So
Yeah.
if anyone is actually serious about starting off their career in web development or anything for that matter, do check out these things, because we are very much hell bent on providing that kind of support through these clubs. Because again, community is fine. Community is basically a fun space where students can meet, enjoy, and get to know each other, connect with. That's the whole thing about connectivity. But that thing ends when the actual competition starts, right? And that's where people start lacking in motivation as well as consistency. These clubs are the micro answer for that, because on a micro level for each student, that support you won't get it anywhere right now, at least. I'm sure other communities will also come up with the same concept and everything, and that would be amazing for the students, because again, this is again for the students itself. So more the merrier. That's the great thing about this. Others in the chat, if you have any questions, you can also directly ask. You just have to raise your hands and you'll be able to talk to Devans directly and ask your question, or you can use the chat box as well. Anyone, any questions at all? Tell us about the hackathons. What type of hackathons? Like in general, like how hackathons help, or are they helpful or not, or what? Okay, so like, do you have any experience in hackathons and how they're useful to students in college?
Always. Hackathons are very useful. You should participate in every possible hackathons you can enter.
Okay.
Either it is from your college or from any other college.
Okay.
So from your college, from any other college.
So basically, like these hackathons, bootcamps, they help a lot in kickstarting everything.
Because what happens now, there are many students, those who are having, like if you know that there are 2 lakh students who are giving JEE mains paper. So at minimum, I can assume that every year 2 lakhs engineers are getting their degree. Out of them, 1,000 or 10,000 students learn how to make a website, but they never host a website.
Yeah.
Right. But if you take part in a hackathon, you will need to host a website or the website. I'm taking website as an example. For me, I took part in hackathon with machine deep learning projects actually. For myself, in second year I took part in hackathon with deep learning project, and in third year we did not get any opportunity. So in second year actually, apart from my college, I took part in other colleges hackathon as well in deep learning. So they will help you because you will make a real life project and you need to showcase it to someone. So
yeah,
you
exactly.
need to develop it.
It teaches you a lot of things apart from that. The presentation skills and interpersonal skills, a lot of things are there in hackathons.
Yes, and apart from that, you if you don't win anything, you can just mention that you participated in hackathon. Yeah, certificate of participation you always get with hackathon. So you can mention it in your CV, and trust me, in your interview, it will help you. They will ask what was your project in hackathon. Yeah.
We also continue. Sorry.
Like these days, what happens? There are 2 types of interview: startups and with big techs. Like you mentioned, with this, So these things actually varies. What they ask in interview and what are their focus actually. Before I mentioned, right? These hackathons will help you to get a job with the startups very easily because they just need these kind of people. Those who can develop, those who are ready to develop, not only having theoretical knowledge.
Exactly.
Because there are more than 10 or 20,000 students those who learned that theoretical knowledge, how to develop a website or an app or how to do machine learning, but they never implement it.
Like in Doko Nation, as well in our community, we had a hackathon. I guess it was in July, in the first week of July. So the theme was open innovation, and in that everyone was able to. We gave some problem statements as well, but everyone had different ideas. and they were so amazing ideas, and everyone, like, it was only for 3 days, not more than that, only 3 days, and within 3 days they had to ideate, and then they had to prepare a UI prototype, and also some people made a website also till some extent. And it was just amazing to watch all of these various teams. About 15 to 17 teams participated in the hackathon, and it was just a crazy ride for even us while hosting and organizing the hackathon. And the students also, within that short span of time, they did a lot of things. And while presenting also, like, that was the main thing, like, to present your project to a panel of judges, that actually puts you on the spot, and that's one way of cracking interviews. You need to speak more and more. You need to be able to present yourself, your project, and basically sell your brand. Exactly, that's what you're doing, right? In an interview, you're selling yourselves as a brand, that okay, this is my personality, this is my these are my qualifications, these are my projects, so this is why you should hire me. That's what the interview is for. So you need proper public speaking skills as well.
Always. In an interview, they will judge you how are your communication skill with them one on one or publicly. Everything will be
Exactly.
judged because there are many companies like Morgan Stanley, like Standard Chartered, especially banks.
Yeah,
They will judge your personal.
they'll judge that.
They will judge personality as well, right?
Correct. Like,
So
that is why, that is the reason, like, we launch the clubs, because you have clubs of everything. Okay, so do check that out. I am focusing it on more and more, because right now people are a kind of, maybe shy, maybe scared to join the clubs, because we are saying na ki you won't be able to be a part of it if you're not doing it. So don't be scared of it. That's just to create that kind of instill in you, so that you join it and then stay consistent. Like, you might be seeing in the community, those who are, that people are actually posting every single day. Day 2 of 7 days of CSS. Now the design club got their challenge today. The public speaking club meets every I guess twice every week. They meet twice every week for 1 hour, and they talk, and they have various modules. For public speaking, the modules are going to be public for everyone, so that everyone can understand and learn about different aspects, icebreakers, introduction, storytelling, hosting an event, interviews, GD, all of that. So all of those videos are going to be put up for everyone, but that matters only if you practice. For that, we keep on having weekly sessions, so do check it out. And again, any other questions from anyone else, if you have, about competitive coding or anything else in general about coding and all of these big tech companies and everything? Karthik says, if possible, please organize some more sessions. Karthik, we organize 2 live events every week. The last week we had sessions on, I guess we had one on UX prototyping. Earlier on that, we had a live tutorial for web dev. And this week we are going to have a session on Sunday. This Sunday we'll have a session with Puneet Chawla. He's an amazing UI UX designer, and he is the founder of Design Wings. Most of UX guys, they might know about him, Puneet Chawla. So that's who we are hosting on Sunday. So yeah, we do keep organizing these events. Okay, Daniel is asking, he has DM'd the question that, can you tell about Google apprenticeship?
sorry, Google.
Google apprenticeship. I think that apprentice thing is there, no? With the Googlers.
I need to check out. I don't know about it actually
Okay.
right now.
I think that's the program where they give you a manager or a mentor, and then they train you for a while.
Mentor,
And then,
right,
mentorship along with that.
Yeah.
Daniel, you can join the community there. You might find some people who might have an idea about it, and they can clear your doubts about it if you want to. The link is already there in the chat box. Also, I have just dropped the link of our Instagram account. So we also share a lot of things on Instagram, a lot of memes and a lot of educational stuff, informational stuff. Okay, like we have our proper segment on every Wednesdays and Sundays. So do check that out. And if you like today's session, it would be amazing if you could spread the word that what we are doing here, how we are trying to help everyone in the student community, by taking a screenshot or a photo right now and putting it on your story, and sharing your experience of how it was today in this session. It would be just amazing. So let me also take a quick screenshot here for our Instagram page. So Devansh, get ready. I'll just take a quick screenshot. Okay, got it.
Mohit is raising hand, I guess.
Okay, they are just using the emojis. That's amazing. So thank you so much everyone for joining in today. If you have any more questions, make sure that you join our community there. We'll be answering all of those later on. Right now it's about 7:56. So we are at the end of our today's session. Thank you so much everyone for joining in, and thank you so much Devansh for giving us your time for the session today. It was very informative, and we have all of these things here, like people, they are really happy. Super fun session. Thank you very much. Very informational. You can see the messages here. So that's amazing. Thank you so much Devansh for joining in.
Yeah, sure. So in the end, I would really like to say that all those who are listening me today, they should join Trihan in Doco Nation, because this is something like, if you do a course with Udemy or any other thing, you will just get a theoretical knowledge. But what Trihan is doing, he is giving you a practical knowledge. Like his team is giving you a practical knowledge, I guess. So I must say that you should join him.
Yeah, like it's not just me, it's the whole team that's
like
working alongside me.
Like I am talking to you right now, so
Yeah,
I'm just
I get it.
So I want to mention your whole team actually. So it is something that they are giving you a practical knowledge. So that is way much more useful than theoretical knowledge.
Correct. Yeah, we have been believers of that, and I am really grateful for the team that I have with me for working day and night. Basically, they are working day and night really hard to develop things for you, develop the roadmaps, because it takes a hell lot of time to do these things. But we are doing it for the community so that every student can benefit from it. And in the longer run, maybe it will be good for everyone. So thank you so much again for joining me. Thank you so much, Devansh, for those kind words. And we'll be seeing you guys in the next one. And yep. Okay. So bye. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for joining.
Everyone. Thank you, Trihan.
Thank you so much, Devansh.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you, Trihan. Bye.